So a bit of breaking news announced in the last couple of minutes or so. It's kind of news that everyone knew that was happening anyway. It's the move officially of the WWE ThunderDome. It's been officially announced that the WWE ThunderDome is moving, is leaving the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida, and it's moving to Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay as previously rumored and reported. This has been reported over the last couple of days or so, but it has been officially confirmed by Ryan Satin of Fox Sports, which means it was confirmed by WWE. WWE, their PR account has just tweeted this, so it is official. It has been officially announced. The WWE ThunderDome is on the move as of December. It's been confirmed that the WWE ThunderDome is moving to the new location on December 11th, kicking off on Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. Following a successful run at the Amway Center, Fox Sports has confirmed that WWE's state-of-the-art viewing experience, the award-winning state-of-the-art, critically acclaimed viewing experience. How many times have we heard that on Raw and SmackDown over the last few weeks? My, oh my, it is beyond frustrating hearing that on every single WWE broadcast, but it is starting a new residency. Of course, WWE has had a residency at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida ever since the summer, ever since August. But we're now getting a new residency at Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. So it's, as I mentioned, as was previously rumored, it's now been confirmed. WWE will begin a new residency at Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. And it's been it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. Of course, WWE's move from the Amway Center, I think this was always the plan. It's the next evolution in bringing live fans back into the WWE arena. But WWE's move from the Amway Center, of course, it was originally only going to run till the end of October. WWE decided last month to pick up the option in their residency contract with the city of Orlando that they could extend the residency at the Amway Center. WWE decided to do that, but this move from the Amway Center seems to have come about due to the NBA season beginning next month and the possibility that the Orlando Magic, who use the Amway Center as their home base, will obviously need the facility for that reason. Since Major League Baseball isn't expected to begin until April of next year, WWE is able to use now Tropicana Field for an undisclosed period of time. I would assume that if we're going to start this new residency at Tropicana Field on December 11th, I would assume, considering that as it's mentioned in the article written by Ryan Satin, that there is no need for the Major League Baseball team to use Tropicana Field until April, then I think WWE will probably use Tropicana Field up until February or March, probably about March, I would say. The Tampa Bay Rays have issued a statement on WWE's ThunderDome moving to Tropicana Field. The president of the Tampa Bay Rays, they've said, quote, "The Tampa Bay Rays are excited to welcome WWE to Tropicana Field for this residency and shine a spotlight on the Tampa Bay area for WWE fans around the world. The ballpark will be transformed to host the spectacle of WWE ThunderDome, allowing fans to enjoy this wildly popular experience virtually." Now, what is fascinating about the WWE ThunderDome moving to Tropicana Field in December is that, of course, the rumors still persist and continue that WrestleMania 37 will actually take place from Raymond James Stadium in the Tampa Bay area as opposed to SoFi Stadium in California. Now, obviously, previously, the plan was to have WrestleMania 36 at Raymond James Stadium earlier this year. But of course, it was cancelled and postponed like everything else due to the current pandemic that we're living in, and the event did not take place at Raymond James Stadium. Instead, WrestleMania 36 took place in the WWE Performance Center over the course of 2 days, and it also aired on tape. It was actually taped a week or so prior to the event airing on the WWE Network. So there had been rumors that WWE wanted to move WrestleMania 37 in 2021 from SoFi Stadium in California back to Raymond James Stadium purely because it keeps WWE in the state of Florida. Why is that so important? Well, WWE's relationship with the Florida government and the Florida governor is very, very crucial in all of this. Throughout this entirety of this pandemic so far, WWE's relationship with Florida has been vital. It's been absolutely vital. Why? Because when every other business was being shut down across the United States and across the world, when the pandemic first truly hit back in March and April, WWE was classified as an essential business, which therefore allowed them to remain open during this pandemic and continue producing television therefore ensuring that people like the USA Network, NBC Universal, and Fox would not have a reason to kick the WWE out of their lucrative contracts. Of course, Fox's contract with WWE is worth $1 billion. Therefore, WWE couldn't afford to give Fox an out there. We know the ratings aren't what Fox and USA Network thought they would be. They're certainly lower. I think USA Network need WWE, so they're safe for a long, long time. But in terms of SmackDown and Fox, WWE needs that big Fox money. And Fox does have a clause in their contract that says if they're not happy, they can get out. Therefore, they could not afford to give Fox that option. Therefore, they had to continue producing television. How do you do that? Well, let's just say maybe grease the palm a little bit of the Florida governor, have a hefty donation into their re-election campaign, and then wouldn't you know it, WWE is an essential business and they're allowed to continue producing television content during the pandemic. And it makes sense for them to stay in Florida. I've said this before. When it comes to their relationship with the Florida government, they know exactly where they stand. The Florida governor as well recently said and issued a mandate to all sports teams saying that if they wanted to have a stadium full of people for their sporting events, that's exactly what they could do. He even said at somewhere like Raymond James Stadium, where you can have a capacity of 60, 70 or 80,000 people, that if they wanted to go to full capacity, they could absolutely do that. Which to me, it's absolute madness. It's absolute craziness that is the case. Nevertheless, they've said that they can do that. So it makes sense for WWE to remain in the state of Florida, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to move from Orlando to Tampa Bay. They're going to move from the Amway Center to Tropicana Field, and I think this will lend itself nicely to move into Raymond James Stadium for WrestleMania 37. Now, we haven't had an official update when it comes to WrestleMania 37. We don't know the case if WWE is indeed going to be moving WrestleMania 37 from SoFi Stadium in California to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay. What we have heard is that basically there's a bit of a standoff right now as to does the state of California, did they cancel their deal with WWE when it comes to WrestleMania, or does WWE cancel their deal with California? It's very difficult because legally it's difficult to do when you've committed to hosting an event of that size that brings in that amount of money to that area for the event. It's very, very difficult, and by all accounts WWE is trying to find the best way out of that contract possible, and it's very much expected that WWE will move WrestleMania 37 to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, which again will make sense. They stay in Florida, and it's a nice lead-in when you have all of these Raws and SmackDowns and other pay-per-views from Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay, that you stay in the same city and same area for the WrestleMania. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Kevin Dunn has also commented on the WWE ThunderDome moving to Tropicana Field. He said, quote, "We are proud to have reimagined the in-arena atmosphere and provide an interactive experience like nothing else in sports and entertainment with the launch of WWE ThunderDome. Our fans' response and industry-wide recognition are both humbling and further validation of the innovative spirit and passion that exists across the entire WWE organization." Brian Finn, WWE's Chief Marketing and Communications Officer, it's very, WWE PR and spin, this article, what do you expect? It's Fox and it's Ryan Satin. Nevertheless, Brian Flynn, WWE's Chief Marketing and Communications Officer, says Hollywood celebrities, WWE legends, and millions of fans from around the world have enjoyed what the world-class WWE ThunderDome has to offer. This new residency will enable us to continue offering an unmatched live spectacle and would not have been possible without the strong support from the Tampa Bay organization. We remain grateful for the hospitality provided by the Amway Center over the past 4 months. So, I did mention previously as well, and I think this is really important to point out, that I think moving from the Amway Center to the Tropicana Field, I think actually it's going to be an upgrade. I really do. I think it's going to be an upgrade for the WWE ThunderDome, because you've got more space. You've absolutely got more space to work with there. Obviously, the Amway Center can host, 18,000, 20,000 people, maybe a bit more. Whereas you look at the Tropicana Field, I mean, that's a big open space, open air stadium that can do something really, really, really special. What's interesting is actually in 1993, the Tampa Bay Lightning moved to the stadium, and the name was actually changed to the ThunderDome, which I think is quite quite interesting as well. It also has a capacity of 40,000, so again, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the Thunderdome in a stadium setting. I've always really liked the looks of WWE shows in baseball stadiums. I think that's always looked really good, and I like that that's become a bit of a tradition over the last couple of years, that Royal Rumble events are always being held in baseball stadiums. I think it looks different. I like the superstars coming out of the dugout. I like the long walk to the ring. I think that looks great, and regardless of what you think about WWE, they're very, very good at doing stadium shows. They always have been. They've got very, very good at it, especially when they do it so many times a year now. So I think all of that looks great. I think it also, as I mentioned, does go into the next phase of bringing fans back into the arena when it comes to WWE events. Of course, they'll turn it into the Thunderdome and we'll have fans virtually there, but they can do like they've done with the Capitol Wrestling Center in NXT, have a hybrid of both virtual fans and legitimate paying fans in attendance. It's an open-air stadium. I believe it's actually a dome, but regardless, it's open air. And the 40,000 capacity allows for quite a lot of social distancing there. Even if you have fans back in there at 10% capacity, you could have 4,000 fans in attendance. Now, the next question could be, is it safe? What's the situation with the pandemic in Florida right now? Of course, in other sports, in the NFL, we've seen fans at certain games where states allow it. Over here in Europe, some soccer games have had fans return to the ground at socially distant capacities. I will say the same thing that I've said for AEW when it comes to WWE and bringing fans back in if they do have a hybrid version of this new version of the Thunderdome at Tropicana Field. If you can do it safely, that's fine. I do question about people that go, is it worth the risk? Cases are still increasing, deaths are still increasing. If it was me, would I want to go to a sporting event with 4,000 people in attendance right now? No. That's just me. Some people do. I question, would you want to go? If you live in Tampa Bay, would you be willing to go to a WWE event right now? Some people obviously are for AEW, so I'm sure they would be willing as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section when it comes to that. But I've said the same about AEW events. Why would you want to go and put yourself and possibly your family at risk? I don't know. But as I mentioned, when it comes to the Major League Baseball season starting up around April time next year, that's by all accounts when possibly we could have a rollout of this vaccine that is in the news right now. So it's all very up in the air. The one thing we do know is that the WWE ThunderDome officially is now moving to Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. So maybe WWE holds off until WrestleMania. I've seen reports saying that Vince McMahon's plan is still to have fans, a considerable amount of fans at WrestleMania, and then maybe in terms of an actual indoor arena event, he wants fans back at the Raw after WrestleMania on the following Monday. So we'll have to wait and see. Everything changes every single day and every single week, so I'm sure this won't be the last we've heard about it. But the main bit of news here is that the WWE ThunderDome officially has been announced to be moving as of December 11th. It will be moving to Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. And debuting on Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. So exciting, but I'm sure we'll hear and see much more about it in the coming days and weeks as we head closer and closer to WWE ThunderDome moving to Tropicana Field and on the road to WrestleMania. But what are your thoughts about the WWE ThunderDome moving to Tropicana Field? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be sure to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys and chatting about WWE here on the channel. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button. Really does help us out here on YouTube. Go up the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to WrestleNews 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.